Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and being a producer of Wrestle Massacre as well as Inside Movies Galore, I am David Strege, and welcome to Delusions of Grandeur. Enjoy the reviews. I certainly did.
Okay, Dave, that's it. Screw you and your college flunkies. I've had enough of this from you and from everyone else. I know what you guys are trying to do. Break me down, drive me out of the force. Well, it's going to take a hell of a lot more than a lame prank like this to get Curtis Mooney to throw in his badge, so fuck you. Over.
Did you miss me? I guess not.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting review of from Delusions of Grandeur. I am David Strege, and here I have another review for you. This time of a film from 1995, directed by Anne Hedemia Pictures director Evan Jacobs. And a friend of mine thinks that this film, Walking Between the Raindrops, is reminiscent of like films that maybe Woody Allen may have done, but I'm reminded, since this is 1995, there was a television series called Clarissa Explains It All. And there was a moment where Clarissa's brother, played by Melissa Joan Hart, was played by a guy named Ferguson. And there was a moment in the show where he took over and explained everything that was going on, and then kind of like a diary in the form of like Bram Stoker's Dracula, where they were just talking to like talking as if they were writing in their diary, and that's kind of what we have here. Evan Jacobs stars in this film as Stanley, and Stanley is a student that is studying to be a filmmaker, and in the very beginning of this film, we get a couple of characters. I believe they are his friends and possibly roommates. For the simple fact, maybe they aren't roommates, but they are definitely friends. And at first it seems like his friends just think of him as a joke, and he ends up going to a party, and he evidently just spouts out to a girl that's sitting next to him called Sarah. And spouts out about how he hates being at these parties, and he is so sarcastic and how he expresses himself that I believe that he becomes friends with this Sarah. The only thing is they live like far from each other. And he ends up going with her and her friend, and getting a bite to eat, and they end up having these conversations with each other, and they really like talking to each other. And he starts thinking that there is something going on between the two of them, and his friends are trying to tell him to let her know that this, and he's like, no, no, no. Well, and then eventually he decides to write a letter, and then there's a moment where he tries to hunt down the mailman man to get this letter from her, and as these conversations go on and the conversations get deeper, he feels like his relationship with her is getting deeper. And then, of course, there's a moment where he invites her over, and she brings an unsuspecting boyfriend, and he doesn't tell her how he feels. And apparently, in the next conversation, she tells him that things aren't going okay. That she thinks that he's going to break up with her. And then in the next conversation, it's like they've already broken up, but they didn't break up on a bad note. And you know, in a way, this is kind of like a film of uh, self-realization, a film that seems to go through a relationship, maybe one-sided, but still a relationship. A relationship of how two people can, out of the blue, just become friends, and how one person can have feelings that the other doesn't ever interpret as feelings. And there's always that one that got away. And I wonder if this is like kind of about that girl that got away. I believe the Sarah here is played by Rachel Stoltz, and I believe that she's actually pretty in her own way, um, a modern way, not a conventional way, and she's relatable. Obviously, Stan and her can talk about anything. They can lie down next to each other and have the most common everyday, and I believe that she feels comfortable around him. Um, the only thing is that Stanley seems to have a different way of thinking about her. He wants to think about her in a romantic sense, and his friends eventually, um, eventually, I feel like his friends become more helpful over time, because they start having better advice to give him, even though he wasn't listening to it to begin with. Because at first they both looked like they were douchebags, like people I would never hang out with. And eventually, I think both of them kind of came around in the end. He liked hanging out with his bros, and you know, he also liked hanging out with her, and he liked hanging out with her a lot. And he had a hard time expressing himself. And so I guess, in a way, I can see the Woody Allen aspect of his filmmaking. I can see where that is kind of relevant, but some of the beginning of the film definitely seems like it's older. Um, like there was a moment at the party where it seemed like um, the image was blurred just a little bit, but and because I can tell this was done on a VHS tape, um, on that kind of camera, you can see that there is some lines here and there, but altogether, I feel like this film is one of Evan Jacobs' better films. I like the characters. I like even the fact that the friend Amy, she um, came around and told him that he was all that Stanley was all that Sarah talked about and shit like that, you know. And so I felt sad for him in the end when he kept having these moments where he thought he was gonna actually tell her his fucking feelings, and then you know, I feel for him because I've been there. I've been in his position where, you know, there was there were moments I could have asked a girl out when you know things were not going so good with the boyfriend. You know, and it's just it's almost like you started out being friends. You don't want that friendship to end, and it gets difficult, especially when the feelings aren't reciprocated, and you're afraid of that rejection. So, in any case, I thought the film was shot pretty decently for its time. I love that it was in black and white, and I wouldn't mind if he returned to the story maybe in the future. I don't know. I just thought it was a pretty decent film, um, and what its message was, you know, that he wasn't that kind of guy, you know. In any case, thank you for listening. Have a great day, evening, or morning, wherever you are. Let me know down in the comments if you've seen this picture. It was definitely intriguing. Finally, I'm glad that I finally watched this. This was Evan Jacobs' debut film. I just don't think he's gotten a way to entirely broadcast, you know, that this film is made. I mean, it's been online for several years. I mean, he's been selling it on Amazon for quite some time, and I just think with a better cover, someone with better art and a better cover, or rebranding it just a little bit, remarketing it a little bit. If he put the time and effort into uh, putting a better released cover instead of just the basic norm, I think that he could probably sell it a little bit better. In any case, thank you for listening and enjoy.
You were good, kid, real good. But as long as I'm around, you'll always be second best, see?